Hello there, this is me, Dark19, and this is a Pretty with the Rainbow Live episode 23 review. Now, basically this episode consisted of mostly Wakana on Kazuki, and a little bit of the others, just mixing it up, because it was more of a flashback-heavy episode. A lot of flashbacks about Wakana. We see, like, a bit of Wakana when she was younger, and then she went to Ada Rose, and sort of that gist of things, and also to reveal that Wakana was her childhood friend and sort of what happened back then. So episode starts off with Naru, An, and Ito, and they're just skating around in school, and basically Rine's there too as a new student. She's introduced a new student that day, and everyone just swarms around her. Like, she's the new kid on the block. Of course, everyone's going to be all happy about it and such. So, happens after is Otaha and Wakana have a little conversation sort of about, like, her coming back, and sort of Wakana asking, asking about the Prism Live, and like, oh, you performed a Prism Live when you were with Prism Stone. Then after that, Wakana's just walking home, and Kazuki, unfortunately drops a bucket on Wakana. Kazuki goes up to her, says, I'm sorry, and then says, haven't I seen you somewhere? And Wakana's like, probably not. You might just be seeing things, like, stuff like that. And then after, later on, in the episode, Wakana meets up with An. And this is sort of the turning point of the episode, because it starts to get serious, because Wakana then tells An, because An asks, oh yeah, like, why are you so mad at me? And Wakana then says, oh yeah, it's because you stole the Prism show from me. We then see, I don't know how long the flashback was, but it was pretty long, where it's Wakana, she looks in on Kazuki and An as they're performing Prism jumps, and An's like, oh yeah, Wakana, you can join in, and basically they perform Prism jumps, and everybody's happy, and Wakana gets interested in Prism shows. And then later on, what happens is An is introduced to An is actually, they said An is sick. So what happens is when Wakana is like, oh yeah, where's An? Kazuki's like, oh yeah, she's sick, and I want you to take over for An's place when she was supposed to be in that Prism show. Of course, Wakana's overjoyed and starts training for the whole thing. And then when the day finally comes, An's performing the Prism show instead of Wakana. So that drove Wakana off the deep end, and sort of drove her to become a member of Ada Rose and sort of stand out on her own. And basically she talks to Belle about it, and then they're part of Ada Rose, and, well, I guess the rest is the rest. So what happens is then Wakana then says, oh yeah, like, we're not friends, like, we were never friends, and rips up the photo from when they were younger and just throws it. Now what happens is Wakana's just really mad, like, that she really didn't remember, that An really didn't remember what happened. And then later on in the episode, we see, I believe it's Kazuki, who calls up Wakana, is like, says, Naru and Ito are, like, Naru and Ito, they're sort of worried that An hasn't come to the store in a couple days. And Naru, I believe, calls Wakana and is like, yeah, we haven't really seen An. And it's like, you know anything about it? And then Wakana's thinking, oh gosh, she might be doing that, and runs off towards An. Now, as Wakana is getting there, Kazuki appears and is like, oh yeah, might as well just tell you the truth about it, and says that Kazuki said he changed it from Wakana to An, because he saw that, I guess, she was getting weak. So he changed it from Wakana to An, and An was performing, and that Wakana didn't know about that. And then she's like, oh yeah, what's the proof of that? And he's like right here and has the papers for it that they signed and such. So then Wakana is sort of mad at herself for that. And then what happens is they see An in the front of the school, and she's looking for the photo, and she finds it and is like, oh yeah, like, you can just make up. She puts the picture together and just like make up. And Wakana's like, yeah, I forgive you, while crying. But then what happens is An faints, and Kazuki and Wakana are shocked. And then, what is it? Kazuki's like, take a rest, but An's like, no, I have a Prism show to do tonight. But Wakana's like, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. I'll do the Prism show. And then Wakana goes out, performs a Prism show, performs a Prism Live with a xylophone, which she was shown early in the episode playing with the xylophone, and performs Prism Live, and performs, I believe, let me think, Heartful Splash, not Ethnic Splash. Ethnic Splash replaced by Heartful Splash. Walking Flower Waltz, and then the jump that reminds everyone about Harder, which was Fresh Fruits Basket. Then after the Prism show and live, goes back in the locker room. Everyone's all happy about her doing her Prism Live, and it's sort of like Wakana and An are on the same page, but Wakana is now sort of used to get the feeling that she really hated her, but now it's more of a playful, like, I really do it for you, you know, like, you just wanted to do it. It's sort of that playful type of thing, and they're just on terms like normal friends are. And that's really the end of the episode. So it was sort of a weird episode. I liked it. With this, like I said, I like a lot of story in episodes, and this one had a lot of story inside of it. Despite having a Prism show as well, which actually added to the charm of the episode. I mean, sort of episodes I've said I like are story episodes, and sometimes they don't have Prism shows. Like, I know the Prism show is sort of necessary to the episode or to the show because it is Pretty Rhythm, and Pretty Rhythm is sort of their staple of their shows is usually a Prism show. So even if they're not in there, they're still good episodes. But this one was the complete package. It had story, it had drama, it also had a Prism show, and it also had a new Prism Live. So I liked it a lot. It's not my favorite, but it's one of my favorites now. So again, I'm going to be talking about the next episode of my preview review. I don't know why I keep mentioning that, but, well, I don't know. It's probably going to come up more times in the future, but, you know, I guess I just keep saying it. So again, this has been a Predator episode review. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys later.